Welcome, everybody. I am EDAW'S from NODNARB'S Closet. It is a very hungover closet today. I found out what McMinimans is, which, if you don't know what it is, you should look it up. It is fucking amazing. If you need to know the spelling or anything, it's in the P&W. It's like really interactive. It's cool. Hit me up. With me today, I have doppelganger howling Brian Paul Rees here with me. Say hello.
Hiding my bad haircut.
Yeah, he's got static grass, a static grass problem. It's kind of personal. But you should DM him about it specifically. Brian Paul Rees, hey man, I've been watching your stuff for a very long time. We've been in communication for a very long time. What kind of got you into the hobby to begin with?
Model trains, I guess. I was 6 years old. And then there was the pivot to Magic the Gathering somehow. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And then there was the pivot from Magic the Gathering to, like, I found out there was Warhammer 40,000 when I was about 12, I guess.
Oh, shit.
And that was 2nd edition, I think. So me and some friends got into that, and then we followed every Games Workshop game until Mordheim. And then went to college, got into cars and girls and all that, like fell out of it for a little bit. And then we started another Mordheim campaign in our late 20s that was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And I've essentially been trying to recreate that ever since. I started a freaking business.
Hell yeah.
And, like selling terrain just to rebuild my own collection so we could have this campaign again. I worked for White Metal Games for a while, and then the pandemic happened, had a baby.
And now that generally does happen whenever you're stuck in the same area.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. We had a kid the same year. He's our little COVID baby. We had to sneak my wife out of, I've said this many times on here, we had to sneak my wife out of Italy to be able to get her home during the pandemic because they wouldn't give any epidurals in Italy.
Yeah, and Italy was hardcore when it first hit.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah. I like being back here. Well, I like being back here after COVID. Now I'd like to go back. I'd like to go back now. Can they give me citizenship? No, so you had a kid. You're in there just like everybody, finally coming back to the hobby again whenever COVID is really kicking off. So do you mostly play Mordheim?
I actually haven't played Mordheim in years. Necromunda is my game now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm rebuilding for Mordheim. I want to get back into that. I have some Averlanders I'm working on right now.
Nice.
With mostly War Games Atlantic stuff. But that's just a little side project. I have no terrain. It's a huge undertaking. It's probably going to take about a year and a half. And so I'm kind of sourcing bits now, like windows and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
Texture rollers for bricks and everything, like all different texture rollers. So I'm trying to get everything ready now so it'll go a lot quicker.
Well, if you need any other help, I can send things. Yeah, man, I think that's great. Terrain is something that we talked a lot about before the call. And also, I want to mention to everybody, before I forget this, DM him for some of his work. If you find something that you like, DM him, hit him up, and you guys will figure out the price. And then I plan on doing it soon. I think it's important that we all converse and mix and share. So get out there and hit him up.
Appreciate it.
He said that I had to say that or he wasn't going to do the show. I am under duress. No. But yeah, go ahead. So are you building like full scale buildings and things like that for it?
For Mordheim, yeah, I want to build a 3x3 to start with. It's 4x4 is typically what you need, but I don't want to bite off too much at once because projects big projects get bogged down when you have a kid.
Oh yeah,
and you kind of reach that point where it doesn't look like anything yet, but you already have like 100 hours in it, and it's really hard to stay motivated. So
yeah, I still do not understand how Bill Ford does it. It's fucking insane to me. Much less
those
you guys are the
Vestarian
same
boards.
way. Yeah. It's pretty mind blowing, honestly. I'm just now starting to get more into it. I literally I did all those little mini fucking bricks, and I fucking aligned them, and I made an asylum, and then I was never going to use it, so I cut it up and use it for this new Jesus statue one.
Are you using cork bricks or like foam?
Foam.
Foam? Okay,
yeah. The cork is fucking awesome. I'd like to stack up one layer. Anyways, yeah, I'm starting to get into it more now, and it really does. It came off to me as intimidating. to be
That
honest.
PC I have going right now is pretty incredible.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So you're newer to terrain?
Yeah, I don't. The first thing that I ever built was that asylum that I have. I think it says one dead pig on it. I think it's I put like a skeleton of the warden of the asylum up around a noose. But I think that was my main one. A long time ago, I started off with terrain, and I was working with acrylic. It's what I first started with.
I think I see the asylum on your Instagram now.
Yeah,
Okay.
but the other stuff I used to do terrain a lot. My wife liked it more than she likes my painting, but yeah. But I just started to get back into it and started putting the futuristic elements in there, which is something I've never fucked with. Honestly, Warhammer was intimidating for me. I'm like, this is a whole different section of different like paint styles.
For Warhammer or for terrain, you mean?
Just Warhammer in general, like switching over to a sci-fi element whenever all I did was medieval.
Yeah.
Previously was a little bit intimidating too. But this isn't about me. This is about you. And
I'm just looking at that right there.
Thanks, man.
Your piece.
Yeah, we were also just talking about this too, about how you always long for that moment whenever you prime something.
Yeah.
I will be 100% honest in saying that it was so depressing to me to put primer on this at first because I was like, I think it looked great. Like all the colors were there.
Yeah.
And then I painted over it. I feel better about it now because I've done work on it. But I was like, fuck, man, did I just ruin this? Maybe I should have just left it alone. But
I think like the difference is like when I use a lot of foam, I don't like seeing the foam. You know what I mean? So like I want to see it covered in primer. And like
for sure.
Like your piece had a lot of cool different textures just to the materials you use. You know what I mean? So I understand what you mean. Like you like the colors as they were.
I honestly think that I like this more than painting miniatures, which is your world.
It's very
man.
liberating. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's sculpture. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated with sculpture in general. But right now, you play Necromunda.
Yeah. There's a few games I'm building for that I haven't played much or at all yet, but
Story
I really
of all of
play.
our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Silver Bayonet. I have Lunar. I have 2 boards for Lunar, and I have 2 Gangs of Astros. I've not played yet, but it's gonna be awesome when I do.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the one thing that if I could change anything about the hobby, I would. I don't know. Put us more in proximity of each other, but that would be an act of some kind of god. Yeah, it sucks because I had an army for Forbidden Psalm. I got an army for Mordheim. I got and I'm like,
and you're gonna struggle in the United States, especially to find like opponents for these games, man. Like, I see these people with these cool gaming clubs in Europe and everything. You know what I mean? I get jealous because they took some nice public transportation 15 minutes away and meet with 20 of their friends and play these badass grimdark indie games and
fucking
stuff.
awesome ass games, man. Like it's so I just got one called Liminal Horror that I recommend to everybody. It was brought up on Hivescum. It is a super badass game.
What is it?
It's an RPG that essentially takes you through these scenarios. The first one that I bought was something about spores. Basically, it's like a Last of Us type grimdark setting. But no, not really. You play an investigator. You're playing not like a politician. You're not playing a cop or anything. It's very, very particular about the fact that it's like you're not a cop. You're not any kind of law. You're an independent journalist or I don't know, like a blogger.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going through and finding these weird fucking occurrences. And pretty much you can do whenever you want to perceive something, you're not rolling for it. After the game master basically has given you all the information, they can check into every little fucking thing. And combat isn't stressed as necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
It's really difficult in that way.
It's modern day?
It depends on the module, yeah.
Okay.
I bought another one. I can't remember what the other one is. But if you look up Liminal Horror, you can find all of their stuff on there. They have PDFs. They have physical copies, which is something that I'm obsessed with getting. Physical medium is always the best to me, especially in this hobby.
I like to be able to flip through while I'm looking for, I get nervous when I'm doing it on my phone, like in the middle of a game. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
no, yeah, totally. I totally get that sentiment because for me, it is all about skin to paper, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah, it's so great. I just saw another thing on Exalted Funeral, I believe, where it's completely covered in wax. So you have to crack open the book like you've found it for the very first time. So that concept of things is so enticing to me, and I think that a lot of your type of builds that you have, especially your terrain, man, is fucking insane. Like I can already tell you which one I want. There's a freaking tower that you have of one of your things in here. I will bring it up later on whenever I find it again. But yeah. Oh, it is this one.
I think
It looks
the
like a bong
glare.
here. It's actually he's selling bongs. I don't know if.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna break the.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that it?
Yeah. There we go. There we go. That's perfect. We broke the
Gonna
fourth dimension.
gonna open a wormhole or something.
Yeah. Hey, I need that to happen. Honestly, whenever we have an individual who's still going on about Ukraine being essentially a terror group who's representing all of us, I want to make sure that everybody's very clear here. Today's episode goes to Canada. I recently purchased a Canadian flag, and it is in the window of my basement home. And I will continue to fly that until and a Ukrainian one. You and I are very familiar with politics and talking about that.
Been thinking about checking out hockey lately. Like,
Hockey's fucking dope. I've
I don't
always
know
been
anything
into
about
hockey.
hockey. Like, might check out
You
hockey now.
okay? Listen, you need to come to my coast, and I will take you to a fucking hockey game. I will pay for the fucking ticket. It is on me. I love hockey so much, and we get a little surprise for Mr. Trump towards kindness corner, but yeah, he just keeps on egging somebody. It's like if I asked you to go on an interview with me, and then I told everybody how big of a piece of shit you were. Don't you think?
Yeah, yeah. The way our foreign policy's been lately.
Yeah, it's been pretty great out there.
Nobody trusts us anymore, man. I mean, like nobody's sharing intel with us, or they are, but certain things they're definitely holding back. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I don't blame them, and
yeah.
to be honest, it's been great to see a mature adult say, like Justin Trudeau has his own fucking
Mm,
problems with Indigenous people and everything else, but it's really nice to see Canadians specifically saying that they know it's not the people, it's one man or a group of white men that are continuing to lie to a bunch of people. I reserve this time for just talking through the interviews. But if Barrett, if you could come up with a separate thing, those crazy weird pictures that have popped up about JD Vance with that big bulb of a face of his, with long hair, that would be fantastic. If you want to add your own spin on it, maybe give him a tutu. That would be great because he was a spoiled little bitch whenever he did what he did. All right, enough monologue. You think it's going to take the course of a year to finish a board completely for Mordheim?
yeah. Mordheim, the problem is you're doing interiors too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's really like twice. Like whatever you think is gonna take, it's gonna take twice the time because you're gonna be like breaking your wrist to get down in this room and paint little
Yeah.
graffiti on this wall, and you want the walls to be cracking a certain way. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
want boards behind it. It's like an obsessive thing you get into. So I have not gotten into the terrain part of it yet. I'm trying to get my feet wet with the war band right now. But that's definitely my project for this year. For 2025.
Hell yeah, man. That's going to be awesome. And for me, so a person who has not been able to play his first game of I'm a D&D guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an RPG guy usually. I would love to play skirmish games, but again, you have to be able to find those people to play with, which I'm getting a little bit of success of now. But for somebody that's getting into wants to build terrain hasn't played a game, what are maybe some like pointers that you can give people who are starting to get into that hobby?
Foam is your friend. This installation foam. You could
Yep.
draw anything into it. I don't know if you really see that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people use these, hot wire cutters, but I like this. As long as you keep a fresh
Yeah.
blade, It's just a 3-piece extending blade.
Dude, that fucking... I know. Did you... So, whenever I got mine, because I have the same...
It's an Olfa.
Yeah, I have the same thing because whenever I started, I watched Black Magic Craft. And that was the very beginning of my push into the hobby. So yeah, I totally bought one too. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking buy everything I need for this and it's been the best fucking blade, that one of the best things ever for...
I mean, it does everything like a hot wire is gonna do. Like a hot wire is great for certain things. If you want to do a bunch of one shape, like 50 times over, you use a hot wire foam cutter. The problem is when it melts through the foam, it makes kind of like an eggshell. So if you wanted to take like a ballpoint pen later and draw your bricks in, it's not going to crack in the same way as if you just use a knife like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just Elmer's glue and like insulation foam. I mean,
Yeah.
just see what you could do with those if you're just getting into terrain.
Do you usually do, like, for me, I have like scenic cement that I use for all my dirt and shit at the very beginning. I don't really use a whole lot of but I got to tell you, the Jesus statue that you were just showing, I have
you got it
never
right there?
I have never put more glue on something in my entire life.
Are you using sand or like grout?
So I have sand, baking soda, and dirt from the outside.
Okay.
I just have paver sand, and that's what Bill kind of pointed me towards, and I really haven't been able to leave that. But I want actual dirt and rocks to be in all of my pieces, just because it just looks so natural.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's on its first coat right now, and I think it's my favorite thing I've ever done. So this will probably take the course of a year before it's finally finished for me. Just because I had so much fun fucking with it. I had originally talked to Colsfer about my idea for this, and it's now coming to fruition 5 months later. So, so a lot of your stuff too. We keep on going back to me, Brian. Stop doing that. I promise you, I'm not conceited, or maybe that's a conceited statement.
Real quick, what games are you using that for? Because I know like 1490s, like it's like a round board, right?
Mm-hmm. For this one, I would love to fucking make something for 1490, but this obviously, with all the technology and stuff, I made this to be interchangeable between Trench Crusade and maybe I don't know.
So like the grimdark. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. I want to, and I could really input it into anything, right?
Yeah.
It's
I
just
just wasn't sure because it looks like that could be a board for like 1490 Doom, from what I understand. Because isn't it like 16 inches wide, and it has to be round or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of those lately. I saw a really awesome castle that was on a hill.
Yeah. There's always a round board, which is very unique.
Yeah, do you think that it would fit the aesthetic? I haven't dove deep enough into 1490.
I've seen miniatures and pictures. I haven't flipped through any books or anything for it
I guess
yet.
there's
Or
like
PDFs.
some kind of technology in it.
They have some kind of breathing apparatus, I know.
Yeah.
So some things are different, I guess, but
But that's why I love doing this so much, because I feel like I can add it to anything. But do you still have that piece, by the way? I know that we're going to do a business transaction right now on the air.
Oddly enough, I never painted it. I never painted it. It's over there.
I want
There's the little balcony broke off. I could glue it back on, but yeah,
I'm going to buy it from you. That's in the bag. If anybody else tries to reach out for that, go fuck yourself. You're an asshole. I need it for my, I guess, 1490 board now.
Super high tech 1490 board.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's what I was doing it for the whole time. No, man. Hey, I'm always interested in finding out, like, does music kind of influence any of your shit? Do you listen? Are you like me and listen to metal, or?
My playlists are kind of all over the place. I'm kind of a hip hop guy at heart. I like really grimy lyrics, like you get in trouble for if you're like 11 or 12 years old, like you get the CD taken away, sort of thing. Like,
yeah, no, hey, man,
like
that's
demonic
right
sounding
up my alley.
bass. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I like a lot of clipping. Action Bronsons with like lyrically on point. Like,
yeah, Action Bronson's dope as fuck. He's
yeah,
also a really awesome cook.
yeah.
It took me a while to get over how dopey he can be and goofy as fuck. I don't know. I should have known it's all a bit, but
Yeah,
it is all. That's how he lives his life.
yeah, man. Like,
Which I I think if there was anything to be more, I love cooks. How about that? I love chefs. I think that like a lot of their humor is on the same point as mine.
yeah.
And I really enjoy that. I like Matty Matheson. I love that guy.
He
He's
has a
great.
lot of like cooking references in his in his lyrics too. Like, he'll go from referencing some, like 70s cinema to like
Yeah,
martial arts to like talking about like
he's a smart
lamb chops,
motherfucker,
and you know what I mean?
dude. He is so fucking. Lyrically, he's insane.
Oh yeah. Have you
I
seen the Action Bronson Ancient Aliens and Friends show that they have?
no. Yes, I
So
need
it's him
that.
and his friends with a bong, and they're projecting like ancient aliens behind them, and they're watching it, and they have multiple seasons of it, man.
Okay, I know what the fuck I'm doing after I get off the phone call. Bro, I have watched I've watched his show before. What was the one that was really fucking, it has
Fuck, that's
fucking,
delicious.
yeah, fuck, that's delicious. So fucking good. I could seriously, and especially now that I can get high, now that I'm out of the government, it makes it 10 times better. Especially whenever you live in Seattle or close to Seattle. Yeah, man, I think that he is, and his friends, fuck me. I don't know that I've ever watched somebody before that has stupefied getting high so hard that God, man, it's so good. It's so good. That's awesome that we got to have a little moment with that. Anthony Bourdain has always been a very important person to me since I was a kid, and that really kind of shaped. I'll be honest. I think that Anthony Bourdain shaped my childhood of what I was going to be later on in the future. He was a king. Yeah, much
He got
more
me
of a
really
king.
curious about the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Like, just
Yeah, man.
what other people do on the other side of the planet. You know what I mean?
Whoever did that you can think of that pushed travel on people. I have one of his quotes on my wall. There's nobody's ever done it like that. Like my curiosity to go into the military so I could try and go overseas was born from him, even though he would have been like, you probably shouldn't join the military. I was very much a punk rock kid going into the military, so it was very weird. I specifically remember I asked my best friend and his wife out to Sticks and Steins in Farmington, Missouri. And I looked at them and I told them, I think I'm going to join the military. And they go, that is the worst fucking idea that you've ever had in your life. And 14 years later, I agree. It definitely is an eye-opening experience. I would recommend it to people to see what it's actually like, but try not to get brainwashed because it can be very difficult. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent again. Sorry. Do you think that hip hop has kind of influenced some of the shit that you do, like graffiti on the walls and?
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Like, for instance, hang on. I mean, like graffiti specifically. I was working on my Trench Crusade stuff, right? And I kind of based these off of the I don't know if you've seen the STLs for.
Yeah, that's fucking dope.
Or it has like catacombs and stuff attached.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think of ways to add like a feeling that people have lived here for forever, and they just do etch stuff into the rotting wood. And so I looked up Crusader graffiti, and what Crusaders did, they put fucking crosses on things over and over and over and over and over, right? And so I found a little tiny eyeglass screwdriver, and you're not gonna be able to see it on here, but like I got like maybe 24 little tiny.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Cross, like I'm just trying to add that in little places, you know what I mean? But yeah, I guess so. It's those the little gritty bits, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I know a lot of people rolled their eyes whenever you said Trench Crusade. Listen, go fuck yourself. It's a new game. All right?
Who doesn't like
Just
Trench
leave it
Crusade?
alone. I don't know. It seems like everybody.
Besides Games Workshop, I mean,
Every time I bring it up, everybody's like, I mean, it happens in Grimtex and everything. Or we have a group chat through Discord, and everybody's like, everybody on Trench Crusade is a meme. And Gabby, I'm looking at you, Senorita Imp. I know that it's just another game. I got it. But you guys aren't saying the same shit about 1490. So calm your fucking tits. All right? Especially you, Gabby. All right? It's not that big of a deal. It's just a new platform. It's just a new brand new thing.
It's a cool setting. It's a cool setting. I don't know if I will ever play it. I don't know, but it's what I'm building right now, and I'm having fun. So
honestly, it's been the first thing that I've actually gotten. I'm going back to college for my poli-sci degree, and I met a kid who plays Warhammer and who's been interested in Trench Crusade. And I'm into Trench Crusade, so I was like, I gotta latch onto this motherfucker. Like I'm not gonna like I'm about to die, because there's finally somebody I can play a game with that might be interested in this. And Shrumini is his name. If you look at some of my friends list, you can find him on there. He's got a lot of it's Owen. He's a great guy. He has some tutorials on there. A lot of his stuff is very clean. I like a lot of the work that he's done on some of those guys, because that style of painting isn't my cup of tea, so it's kind of fascinating to be able to watch somebody do something like that. And I'm like, fuck you, you piece of shit. You're only 22. Fuck you. I'm 38. I'm old. Leave us alone. All right. But yeah, man, I think that it's really interesting, a really good setting. It calls back to a lot of things that I actually personally feel about certain parts of Christianity.
That's part of the fun of it. It's a big joke. It's a big dark joke, and it's fun.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's an alternate universe. It's fucking great. And it is a fucking joke. It's the same way that I take Doom, the newer video games. Because I think it's just so over the top on purpose. Yeah, it's fascinating to watch.
There's like a satirical element for it. I think pisses some people off. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and if it pisses you off, listen, don't play it. That's it. Don't play it. Don't talk about it.
I might not even play it. But hey,
yeah, I'm probably not going to even fucking play it. I have no idea, but it's fun as fuck. It's just a different way of looking at things. It's essentially realistic-ish Warhammer in our world. There's not giant fucking werewolves throwing around.
Less years.
Yeah. I mean, and it's just such a cool thing to dive into. But you did mention one thing, which was 1490 Doom, that I think I purchased the book for. Did you happen to try and get a copy?
I did not. That was one of our broke weeks. So
yeah, I think it might be not on pre-order yet, but soon. Could be wrong.
I hope they're gonna sell it again at some point. I just wasn't ready to buy it then.
Yeah, I'm sure that they will. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. They did well, I'm sure. I mean, everybody's obsessed with it right now, which is great.
Have you seen the metal minis? Actually, yeah, you must have, because you shared the story on your Instagram today. They're like casting some metal minis for it.
Oh, really? Did I? Holy shit! Holy shit! No, that would be great because
Trenchworks or something was it Trenchworks doing it?
Just look that up.
Yeah, they were just showing off the little spin caster and
I think that's or something. Fucking awesome though. Like I'm doing a project with Cultifer right now. We're making metal minis for a book that we both love that he showed me called The Black Tongue Thief that should have a sequel this year. If you get a chance, man, you gotta fucking listen to it. If you don't read, I listened to the audiobook and
Black Tongue Thief.
The Black Tongue Thief. It is. Okay. It has such an alternate, gritty version of what goblins are compared to what we've been fed like over the years. They are very animalistic and very, very much an evil force that have killed off all of the horses in the world.
Okay.
So that humans couldn't have them anymore. Yeah, it was something that like deep-seated, like people of Rohan would have been obsessed with horses, right? There's a specific type of people that are obsessed with horses, and they've gotten all the horses taken away or eaten from them. It's kind of like their lifeblood.
And you're doing metal miniatures for this?
Yeah, he's designing Kinch, which is the male protagonist, and then I forget her fucking name. But anyways, yeah, we got a coin coming out. He's doing
Cool.
version of a goblin. We've had this kind of going on in the background for a long time. Cole, if you didn't want me to say anything, sorry. You should have told me. But yeah, man, I really like the addition of pewter miniatures because that's what I was obsessed about whenever I was a kid, playing D&D.
Yeah. I recently got back into pewter miniatures with the silver bayonet stuff I'm working on, and what I like about them now with contrast paint and that kind of paint out now, it glides over it, man. It's
oh really?
It's like a total it's really nice. It feels good brushing it on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's great.
I don't know if it's because the miniature's colder or something, like the surface of it, because it's metal as opposed to the plastic miniatures we're used to using contrast for, but it just pulls up on there differently. It's really nice on metal miniatures though.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Trying new things is that are intimidating to a lot of people is my main shtick right now. And whenever I first started doing pewter, I was like, fuck, man. Why won't this glue set on this fucking... because I would interchange, metal with plastic. And yeah, it was just a different medium to get used to.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that that's important for... I'm kind of softballing you a question right now. What can I... yeah, of course it is, Brandon. It's good for people to get into different things. Is there anything that you kind of pull from for inspiration, from movies or TV? Are you as much of a fucking weirdo about film as I am?
Movies? Absolutely. Gangs of New York's probably my number 2 favorite movie of all time.
It's a fucking fantastic movie.
You read stories, growing up, and you see this time period depicted a certain way, and in Gangs of New York, it's no, it was very dirty and everybody fucking smelled, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
that even in these very clean points in history and places, there was a very ugly side to it.
Extremely.
You know what I mean? Violent, just some things never change. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would imagine it's a lot like what the Irish Republic went through whenever there was the Troubles and everything.
Yeah.
There's such bizarre characters in that fucking movie too, that I think that's what does it for me.
Most are based off of real people too, and they got weirder. If you read the history of the organized crime in New York, towards the end of the 1800s, it was just freaking bizarre. The kind, the cast of characters that were running things and everything.
Yeah, and it kind of feels similar to now if it was modernized. I actually see the Butcher being Trump or Elon, for sure.
I have not watched that movie with the current, current events.
It's well, it's kind of depressing and makes you think that we're all a bunch of fucking awful heathen people.
And then in the end of the movie, the government's going to shoot at all of us, and we're going to realize we were friends this whole time.
The entire time. It's almost like foretelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great movie though.
That is fantastic. Yeah, it's a fucking... I love
Scorsese.
Yeah, he's fucking amazing. I mean, if anybody says that they don't like him. And he foretold the downfall of the superhero movies, at least from Marvel's standpoint.
And people are still naysaying about that, after the fact. He was right.
Yeah, I totally think he was right, because we don't have enough original shit coming out. It's the Disneyfication of all of... But I really do hope that, what's his name? James Gunn turns DC around at least. Because at least he can add a little bit of something to that.
I was mad at first, but when I saw the sorts of characters he's incorporating into it and the angle he's going, like Mr.
Yeah.
Terrific, I think the guy's name is. He's
Hmm.
he's an incredible comic book character. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see him depicted like
I hope
live
he.
action.
I hope he. Yeah. I really. I mean, I've seen photos of him full garb, and that's exactly what he looked like in the fucking comic books.
Yeah, and he has these little spheres that just kind of, and he's always projecting an image of himself.
Yeah, it's so fucking cool, man.
And he's just good at everything, and that's his superpower apparently. Like,
So I started getting into DC right whenever I forget what the event was, but it was basically Darkseid was coming back, and all of the villains were like taking over. He had killed a lot of. I think he killed Batman. Not Kingdom Come. I can't remember the name of it. But anyways, I started getting into it then, and one thing that I noticed that I loved the most was DC has the most terrible names for characters, but it is so charming.
yeah, like the Golden Age stuff that like
it's so fucking good.
It's like so out there, it adapts well. It's like the Peacemaker, for example.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. I bought it. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Dude, I will fucking
That's
buy
a very
that.
realistic.
Yeah. It's so
This
good.
stupid helmet and his
oh my God,
closet in another dimension.
Terrific. Well, what the fuck are you talking about? That is not something that strikes fear into the hearts of fucking villains. It's such, but he should, because he's fucking terrifying. He is always Yeah, I mean, there's so many good things about DC, and I think that it has more grit to it than Marvel ever could. I mean, they tried to with making Tony Stark an alcoholic, and what was it, Ant-Man, that was a wife abuser?
Was he?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
like, I knew about the Tony Stark alcohol.
The alcohol. Yeah, he used to beat the Wasp, I believe. He was, yeah. They tried to do that, and it's like, okay, I don't know if I need that. I need weird, and I think that that's what DC offers a lot of. Is there any particular show that you've been watching, or anything that you like always kind of come back to?
Show?
You watching Severance?
No, I've not. That keeps coming up though. You're not the first person to.
Yeah, it's. Hey, listen, everybody's on the Severance train right now, and if you are a 15-year-old me, and you're like, well, if everybody's into it, then it probably isn't good. Go fuck yourself. You should watch it. You should fucking watch it, because I have to say, after I watched the shortest episode that I've ever watched of it, 37 minutes, it was probably one of the best episodes on TV right now.
Really?
It is bizarre and fucking weird. The world building is insane. It is like a completely different. Yeah, it's just it's a whole new beast. I never pictured this being on my Ben Stiller bingo card, but it is amazing. So if you get a chance, watch that.
Severance. Okay.
Yeah.
We saw finished Nosferatu finally last night.
How'd you feel about it?
I liked it. I don't want to knock it, because it was a good movie, but I just saw The Northman like a month before that, and like both of those like right next to each other. Like, Northman's a far superior movie, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that this was the closest. I love Nosferatu, but
yeah,
I think it's the closest thing that he's ever gotten to doing a franchise thing ever.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
And it does. It was definitely more Hollywooded up.
It didn't feel like he pulled it from some ancient manuscript like he does with his other stuff,
like Witch and fucking
Lighthouse.
Yeah. I think that those. If we're really talking about favorite movies by that guy, yeah, I think that whenever we talk about The Northman, and whenever we talk about The Lighthouse, are his best movies. I know a lot of people do not like The Lighthouse, but I fucking will eat that shit up for breakfast. It's the closest thing that we have to anything Cthulhu that I can think of right off the bat.
It's just maddening to watch, and I think that's what people's problem with the lighthouse is. If you feel like you're going crazy watching it, like that's kind of
You are.
what you're supposed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the whole fucking point.
It's like, oh, Ghost Dog is so slow and boring. It's like, yeah, because you're with the assassins setting up the hit. It takes time. You know what I mean? Like you're right there with them.
Well, and not only that,
Point of the movie.
if you don't like mermaid vagina, I mean, who are you?
That was disturbing.
Yeah, it was really fucked. It was really fucked. But it's something that I like to use in my work where I'll have things on in the background. Is there anything kind of like that you kind of pull from?
Stuff I have in the background. Not quite, man. I like silence when I work. That's probably not the answer.
Really?
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Hey,
I like music in the car. I like music when I'm thinking through ideas, but when I'm actually working, it's silence. I'm not sure.
That's wild.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's good though because we're on completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Because for me, I must have noise going on at all times, but that's probably what America's done to me.
Yeah, my wife is the same. She likes having music on while she's like doing her home. She's going back to school right now, so
yeah,
we're doing her homework or painting or something.
Yeah, man. Do you have any kind of background with art whatsoever, or?
I went to Maryland Institute College of Art.
There he is.
Film and video, but I don't do anything with film and video now. So
yeah, but I'm sure that you use that.
Yeah,
you use some things that you've learned in there for.
I was always more interested in the story side. I guess I'm more of a screenwriter, and at the end of the day, and that comes through with all the miniature stuff I do. Like I'm trying to tell a story on the steps of a building. Like somebody got shot there, and there's a couple of shells, and some blood splattered on the wall or something.
What do we need to talk? Because maybe that's the reason why I got a hold of you, because I need a project to go off the ground. We need to write a book together is what I'm saying.
Write a book?
Yeah. All right. So right now is going to be entering into Kindness Corner because I've already had such a blast with you, and we're a little bit shorter on time, but this is going to be a longer episode. Kindness Corner, I think because it is the Canadian episode, we should have the Canadian people shoving a hockey stick up Donald Trump's ass like a fucking shish kebab while he's being drowned out by maple syrup. Is there a bit of kindness that's been given to you over this wonderful time in America or throughout the hobby that really kind of sticks out to you?
Yeah, man. I want to give props to Carl Johnson. Do you know him on Instagram? I think it's Carl J. Johnson. I don't want to say his name right. Let me look it up real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know Carl. Yeah.
Carl's got... He's been doing it for years, man. He's got these PDFs of papercraft terrain. And yeah, they've helped me immensely. And he just puts it out there for everybody just to support the community.
Yeah, he's really cool. I think he was one of the first people that I'm going to reach out to him more. One of the first people that I started following on this.
Yeah, Carl gives me a lot of hope for the community in general, that there's people like that out there that are just doing it for the good of everybody else. You know what I mean?
He's got freaking stuff you can download and freaking print. I mean, that's fucking amazing as it is, right?
He's got like police tape, like crime scene tape.
Yeah.
He's got some cool stuff there.
He's got some dope ass. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but it looks like there's some red, green, and white in there. Kind of looks like Palestine. Yeah, he's
the watermelon colors.
A huge advocate for stomping the fuck out of fascism. So that's a bonus. But I think that's a pretty low bar. I think, but no offense, Carl. You're probably not listening to this anyways. But yeah, I think that's fucking awesome, man. Did you ever reach out to him or talk to him?
Yeah, we've spoken a few times. He's a pretty cool guy. Pretty uplifting.
That's great.
So he said Kindness Corner. That's somebody that comes to mind that makes the wheels go around with the community, I think.
Yeah.
There's not enough, not enough people really sing his praises, or that I've seen. So I just want to do a shout out to.
Oh yeah, he has no
Carl.
followers. He's got like 6,000. I mean, he's zero amount of.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying.
I know.
I'm
being silly. Yeah, man. I think it's fucking fantastic. and people like him need to be uplifted more. Because we'll tag him in this video whenever we put it on. Now we're going into 1-bit, 2-bit misfit. And I know that there's been a lot of people out there that I made a story post not too long ago about the Palestinian movie No Other Home. No Other Home, I believe. You can reach out to me I'll give you a tutorial, or maybe I'll do a tutorial on Instagram soon showing people how to use a VPN, what they should use to be able to get that. But there's No Other Home. It has been a movie that the United States has tried to suppress its people of seeing so that they can, I'm sure, continue on the war in Israel. It doesn't matter what party you're a part of. Apparently, they all hate the Palestinians. So one bit of kindness that I can give out to all of you guys as a form of anarchy is teach you guys up on how to get a VPN and how to watch it. So please feel free to DM me at any time, and I will be glad to help you. And if I don't get back to you right away, it's because too many people are hitting me up. Is there a little bit, you don't have to have one, but is there a little bit of anarchy that you want to add to the mix to everybody out there?
Yeah. If I'm understanding you correctly, everybody needs a dress code, man. Like, if you're opposed to this, like, let's pick a color and just wear that color all the time for the next 4 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
let's all wear black, for instance. I don't know. You know what I mean?
So
It's a
it's
color. They
always going to
can't
happen.
ban a color. You know what I mean?
They're going to probably try. But I totally 100% agree with you. I know it sounds, a lot of people out there, I think, feel voiceless.
Yeah.
And that they don't pay attention to politics because it only causes problems. If you aren't into politics right now, I think no offense, I think that you're part of the problem. So
Half the country didn't vote, man.
yeah, so you really got to get out there, man. I mean, honestly, for me, I have an exit strategy. I'm very close to Canada. I'm waiting for the Canadian troops to come through and liberate us and make us Cascadia, because I worked with a lot of Canadians overseas whenever I was in Oman. So, and not only that, because they're fucking great and hockey is great, and there's never been any animosity. I know that it's a huge thing right now for a lot of Canadians that are in the hobby that have been going through, some hard times because they don't know if they should reach out to us Americans. It's a weird and scary world. I can say me and you have both discussed the things going on with Canada and stuff like that through text. As far as I'm concerned, I've never had national pride because I've known what the country has done to itself and to its people. And going to Italy for the first time whenever I was stationed over there was really eye-opening because it is so much better in a lot of aspects. And I was always told basically this lie that there are shithole countries all over the world and we're the best country. It couldn't be further from the fucking truth. So for those of you who have believed in the lie your entire life, liberate yourself. Yeah, it is very important for us to discuss and talk constantly and meet this ugly bitch-ass baby in the face.
I think most people, Americans and Canadians, nothing's changed between us, man. You know what I mean? Nothing's changed.
It hasn't at all. I love you guys.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I'll probably root over you over America. I know I was during that fucking hockey game, which will go down in history, motherfuckers. That was one of the greatest things that has ever happened in my lifetime.
Wasn't there 3 points in the first 9 seconds or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then those, and my goalie, Bennington from the St. Louis Blues, is a Canadian. So better fucking believe I'm backing that motherfucker up. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to see an evil side lose. I'm not saying that the Americans are all evil or anything like that. It's nice to face an underdog in a way, who's also amazing in hockey. An underdog being the fact that for some reason some of the world thinks that we're still a number one country, it's the people that don't stay in the headlines that are number one countries.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
We're
important for all
backstabbing
of us.
everybody right now, so
Yeah, it's terrible, and none of us are doing it. It's a very particular side, but I understand if you would be hesitant to talk to somebody like me unless you knew it.
mm-hmm.
I get it, man. I thought that, I was in another country. I was in Italy and all of Europe whenever Trump was first president. I was embarrassed to say that I was American. Me and Liz, my wife, used to say that we always have a backup plan of saying that we're Canadians. Very, very much for this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were scared what would be done to us or how people would view us. I don't know how many times I would get asked, "Oh, did you vote for that piece of shit?"
Yeah.
The world is laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's not laughing because it's starting to become too much. So remember, if there is anything that you take out of anything in any podcast whatsoever, the main reason why I invited you today is how much conversations that we have had about politics. Start talking about it. I love your work, but I would much rather the political side of you than anything else. I think it's very important to talk to each other and take care of each other. We have to. I mean, it's
to speak up when something's not right too. That's
fuck yeah. You see a bunch of fucking racist kids and you're scared that you're going to be seen as a shitty adult if you yell at said kids for saying racist things. Go fuck yourself. Yell at them. Do not fucking hold back. If you do, you're going to whataboutism for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
I, for one, am going to put another fucking flag in my window, a Ukrainian flag, and I'm going to keep this fucking thing going. I only have like a 1 foot by 2 foot window. I'm going to fill that motherfucker up with the amount of flags that I would rather back than America.
Mm-hmm. Or like this one.
Yeah, I got mine in my room right now. Yeah. So get out there, get moving. If you're an artist and you don't want to get into politics, you're not an artist. I love you. Take care of yourself. Take care of others. Have more inviting conversations. Have a good night and talk soon. This has been Brian Paul Rees. You're cool as fuck, dude. I love you. And I plan on staying here with you through the fight. Coast to coast.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. See you guys.
Hello, this is Barrett from the ATI Podcast, here to talk about the MANIC Compression Group. The various podcasts that make up the MANIC Compression Group include ATI Podcast, Waxing On with R&J, NODNARB'S Closet from EDAW'S, and It's Just Two Movies. The MANIC Compression Group is a voice for the voiceless, a platform for those dream chasers. The various creative arms of the MANIC Compression Group all have one goal in mind, and that is to bring a spotlight to underground artists and amazing artistic works. ATI Podcast, hosted by yours truly, focuses in on interviewing rising artists, content creators, and small businesses. Waxing On with R&J, hosted by brothers Ridge and Jake Jackson, gives love to physical media. It promotes purchasing physical media as a means to support artists, album reviews, details on production and audio quality on various formats, all with the end goal in mind to give some love to some amazing artists. Outside of the physical media love, you're going to get reviews on recent concert viewing experiences, as well as local show calendars. NODNARB'S Closet focuses in on miniature painting, the D&D world, role-play games, as well as various niches in the hobbies of 40k Warhammer, Dungeons & Dragons, and tabletop RPGs. Led by Brandon Stuart of EDAW'S, NODNARB'S Closet brings attention to the many talented people involved in the hobby. It's Just Two Movies, hosted by Danny King and a rotating guest panel, covers just that, 2 movies. One critically acclaimed or favorably viewed, and a secondary movie probably not good, but the hope is that it is so bad that it's entertaining. Sit back, enjoy some libations to the velvety tones of Danny King and guests, with an injection of jocularity and improv comedy. The MANIC Compression Group can be found across all podcasting platforms, but the full experience can always be enjoyed on YouTube. We thank you all. Stay safe out there.